and some very interesting picks. We've got, of course, the side of 4 Clovers going for that full-on team fight. Vega Squadron, they say, we'll bring a silencer to the fight.
I mean, I always love seeing stuff that's a little bit different, right? I mean, of all the teams to run Silencer, this is one of the few CS teams that actually doesn't run it too much. I know Illidan has played Core Silencer in the past on BP and things like that, but they're a team I haven't seen run it too much, but it is a good pick. Just to have that counter initiation, you go in, you go for like an RP, or you go for a Fiend's Grip. Like, that's the thing that comes to my mind immediately is Fiend's Grip, because it's so easy to just drop the global on that.
Yeah.
So, definitely a solid pick here. But Vega's early game fighting potential is not too bad. I think this is probably one of the more even drafts that we've had in the sense that both teams kind of want to try to do the same thing. They both want to fight with their heroes, but as PPD said on the panel, 4CL's team fight is just insane.
I mean, 4CL's draft this game, do you think they've kind of looked at what they did in Game 2 and said, we kind of want to do more of the same of that, but in a different way?
Yeah, it's different because in the second game, Vega had a lineup where they were running around with the DP and they wanted to just 5-man around one ulti. But this game, they have a lot more avenues of taking fights. And I still think in the early lane, like this mid Ember Wisp, for example, against Mag and Winter Wyvern, I honestly think that if Vega can control the runes, the lane should come out on top. But if for whatever reason they're not able to do so, then I can actually see the Nikwa Saksa lane going well for them here.
Okay, I mean that's your mid lane, your top lane. So we are seeing the off lane Shaker, of course, come out from Bambo. He had quite the game earlier today on this one. And this time he's going to have to deal up against this Gyrocopter and Silencer lane, which, I mean, that can't be a nice one to lane against.
Yeah, this is actually a disaster for a Nerf Shaker. Like, anytime you even are in experience range, you're going to be getting hit by Flat Cannon. And obviously, you have to start with boots, because otherwise, one Rocket Barrage can just kill you.
Mid lane, Saxy just trying to go in with the Arctic Burn Harass, creating that space here for Nikwa. And finally, this bottom lane, so Pikecat. He's going to be on the Tiny, of course. When you watch 4 Clovers, you know, you kind of think of Bambo being the Tiny man, but Pikecat, he's going to show us how to do it in the position 1.
The biggest difference for me, 4CL running Tiny when Bambo plays it, he's never a core Tiny, ever. He's always just off lane, he builds mobility items only, so you can see Magnus punching the crap out of Pikecat. Right
just kind of what
he's got snowball. He might be dead.
Alright, this is who's got the better movement speed here through? Okay, they've got a bait. Oh,
there we go.
Nearly body blocked Pikecat there. That was close, and they're clarity up. They want to try and turn this with the brain sap. Alright, I think they should be able to. The salve has been cancelled. Pikecat hasn't quite got enough mana though for anything.
Fast.
Oh.
Right. I think EGM should have at least been able to get one more auto there, right? Because he's 315. I don't know, it's close. I guess the creep wave kind of blocked him a bit.
That was very, very close. Seeing both sides nearly lose someone there. On mid lane, no one. Moving in with the change and the flame guard. Also Nikwa back, he's been tethered up, but in comes the Wyvern to harass them and hold them back. Make sure they can't advance anymore on this Magnus, and Nikwa is going to be alright here for the time being.
Man, Arctic Burn is just so strong. It's like you get one hit on each hero, guarantees a base of 40% damage that you're just dealing, because it's 8% health burn over 5 seconds, or every second for 5 seconds. Such a strong support hero in the early game. But again, it's not even just about the fact that the Wyvern's strong here, it's for 4CL. Unlike what Vega are going to be able to do, they can just go and stack freely, where the Wisp has been sent back to base already. So the person that's going to have to do the stacking on the side of Vega outside of the Wisp is probably just going to be Sioma. He's going to have to go into the jungle and just get that stuff done, so that way the Ember can go back and clean it up, or the Gyro can go drop cooldown on it once he hits 6.
And of course, well, it's we're talking about the team fight for Clovers, but we can't write off the fact that Vega, once they hit some of these ultimates, once the Gyro gets level 7, and you've got the relocate on the IO, they're going to be very happy looking for the fights themselves as well, and trying to force them potentially before 4 Clovers have those big pickups, such as the Blink Daggers. Because you look at 4 Clovers lineups, they're going to be wanting a Blink on the Shaker, they're going to be wanting a Blink on the Mag, and they may even be wanting to get a Blink as early as possible on Pikecat on this Tiny.
Yeah. That's the thing about 4CL's lineup, is even if their lineup is really good in 5 versus 5, they're still good in small fights too, right? Because Tiny Burst is always going to be very scary to deal with, especially with like a Wisp and a Silencer. Those heroes just explode, right? So they're not even 100% reliant on things like RP, which I think is a really good thing for a lineup with Mag, because having an RP on top of terrifying pickoff potential...
Nightmare onto Mag is going to set them up for the toss combo here, and that's enough.
Very good.
Easy pick off there for Pikecat.
But yeah, as I was saying, like having the RP in conjunction with the rest of their team fight, makes their lineup that much scarier.
On top lane, we were talking about Bambo maybe having a hard time. He's not even able to find 4 CS, but he has still managed to find some levels at least on the Shaker.
Yeah. I think they're sacking him a lot harder this game than they do normally. Like in the previous game we saw him play it, he had, what, 14.5-minute Arcane's Blink? Like, that was disgusting timing. He's having a much harder time this game against the safe lane of Vega. And rightfully so. I mean, Silencer is a very good zoning hero.
Mao EGM. Maybe just seeing if he can get himself in position to go on Mag. There isn't quite the mana here for the 1-2 combo on the Tiny. In fact, the Vayne going very deep here, and maybe just looking to use this to wrap around towards the mid lane and maybe see if they can catch out in the mid, or is he just going to hang... I mean, I guess he's deciding which way to go, EGM, to see if one or more mid lane's going to be the play, and more mid lane. It's moving in, forcing back Nikwa. Both no one and Solo there. And yeah, looks like EGM is going to make his way towards the mid.
It's been a pretty slow early game, but if you look at the CS overall, like obviously Gyro's getting like total free farm, Pycat is shortly behind him, and then Nikwa is 1 CS behind the Tiny. So it's pretty even throughout all the lanes, and just a lot of stacking going on from both teams. So maybe the least action-packed laning phase we've seen so far.
Oh, no one moving in on Nikwa, pops the chains, but Nikwa has got that skewer. We saw, of course, EGM unable to find anything. They do have that high ground ward there, the dice. They knew what was up. And just checking out the jungle here, Saxa, he's going to see that the stacks have been created. He's getting a bit of intel for his side. He needs to be careful, though, as he's in a little bit no man's land here. Has got that ward there, so knows not to walk around the corner. And well, Mac and EGM actually, I think he's just trying to body block up this rune and make sure he gets it.
I think he saw the courier, too. Oh, he's not
okay, Mac could be dead here. They've got the combo, the toss, the avalanche, the right clicks. I mean, the power of the Tiny just shown there. Once he's got a few levels, he can blow up most heroes on the map at this point. And well, maybe they'll find more 4 clovers. They've already found 2 kills so far this game. They're trying to move in. There is a cooldown of Passion. Look at the turn. And there's your Ember Spirit turning up. All right, at the right time. And that's the thing about this here. They're just getting himself in there straight away with the TP and the remnants. Very nice awareness.
Did he just hit level 6 on Gyro? I want to say he was like barely level 6 when that started.
Yeah, he just got a double kill and he's halfway through it. So he literally must have just hit level 6. And yeah, huge fight there for Vega, getting 2 big kills.
That was also an extremely fast reaction from the Ember Spirit. Like, he TP'd like, boom, instantly as soon as he saw that fight starting off. Just to ensure that they could get both of those kills under their belt. So, nice stuff coming out from Vega to get themselves on the board here in game number 3.
Now still in this mid lane. Nikwa's been finding a lot. You know, looking at the CS, 36 against the 34, so has done very well in comparison. And he's going to be able to get a decent enough timing on the blink if it continues this way, but no one. He's going to go in and he's actually going to get skewered back here. There's a Fisher as well with a brain sap. He's got a remnant though. And will be healed back up by Solo. And this is one of these things, in terms of the catch potential, I guess, I know they do have a lot of stuns, but to really secure themselves a kill on the Ember, do you feel that they need really the RP or the Winter's Curse or the Fiend's Grip? Because at the end of the day...
those are the surefire kills.
Yeah.
Those are what you really want. I mean, until Pycat picks up his Blink Dagger and you have that insane burst,
yes,
if you can catch him with his Flame Guard down, you can definitely kill him with a tiny combo during the mid-game. Or at the very least, start the fight going in your favor. But for now, I think both teams, again, are just totally content to farm. They're not really contesting the stacks just yet. Like, Saxa is sitting over here. He knows that they have it. And you do have a Magnus on your team, and a Tiny. So I wouldn't be surprised to see 4CL maybe go for a smoke play, try to contest the jungle and take those stacks away. Because if you do that, that's going to be relocate delayed for a long time. Like, Solo's not going to get credit for those. Take it away from the Gyro.
I mean, Saxa is spending a lot of time around this jungle. I mean, what is he aiming to do here at the moment?
He's the keeper of the stacks.
Okay.
He's actually just sitting here.
I mean,
he wants to know exactly when they come over here and start doing this, because that means you can send Mag over. And it looks like, speaking of, he's going to be smoked up here. Yeah, they just want to take the stacks. They're not even looking to fight. They just want to steal this. This is a really good play.
I mean, I guess with the shotwave they can, yeah? A couple of shotwaves should be able to do it.
When they see the mag missing too, like, this is so not obvious. Because if just the mag is gone, you might expect he's going to go for a gank. But you can't say for sure if he's
I don't know, I think they want to check it out. You've got no one in there.
They're not going to... Oh, they saw him low ground.
Oh, Remnant's a bit off the mark there, but there's the second one to move in onto Nikwa. Nikwa, I think he's been rumbled. He's got the skewer though. Bring no one down, but well, with the slow from the tether. Yeah, there's no way Nikwa gets out of this one. Ah, there we have it. Tusk Mag comes in for the kill with the rotation. And as much as he would have liked to take away some of the fun, which he did, there was a little bit going down there in the middle camp. But he does pay with his life.
I think if he was standing a little bit farther to the left, like I don't think Vega knew he was there. I think they just spotted him on the low ground. I think that's what ended up happening. So if he was standing on the top of the stairs or a little bit farther towards the river, they wouldn't have seen him because they didn't have a word.
Oh, okay, Cornan comes out. Pycat did come in with the TP. It's the combo not tossing him back towards the tower. And oh, with the snowball though, they're going to be able to keep people alive. And Pasha survives, turns it around with a double kill. And the power of the Tusk being shown there as Mag just turns around what was very close to Pasha going down. And meanwhile, mid lane, more things happening for the side of Vega. They do get RP, but they've already found themselves a third kill. And now they just look for Nikwa. He's going to skewer back no one, but no one. He's got Solo there on the sidelines. Will drop a remnant. The chains are not going to latch onto Nikwa, so he's got to get himself up, but the shockwave was there. Ends up catching the Emma Spirit. Now Solo in a bit of trouble. There's going to be a shockwave again in a second, but Solo bottling up. He should be fine now. Okay, no, he's not. Bambo's there. Throws down a fish. A shockwave to come through as well. And so Vega, they find a nice double kill top. They look for some action mid, but Four Clovers are able to turn it around and keeping this game pretty much as close as game 2 was of this series.
And with the contention of the stack, Nico actually got a decent amount
He's got his blink
of
now,
that medium camp. Yeah, like that secures the blink. So, yeah, very close early game so far. There's a slight lead for Vega right now, but it's probably going to be dipping back into Force Seal's favor after those 2 kills get exchanged. And they do have a significant amount of damage, like a Blink RP Skewer. The Tiny doesn't have his Blink yet, but that's okay, because as long as the Mag can bring the heroes to Tiny, then you can still get the maximum damage out. And this Tiny is level 9 now, so he has the fully maxed out combo. That kills any hero on Vega, like easily. No one can live through that, not even Pasha.
And it looks like Pycat is going to go for the blink straight up after the Dreads. So just having that amount of initiation between himself and this Magnus. It's going to be pretty scary here for the side of Vega.
And they also, the other thing too to keep in mind is Sioma's almost level 6.
Yes, yeah.
So that can be one thing we could be looking towards to see some kind of counter initiation start to come out from Vega. And Mag is level 7, so regardless of his 2 early deaths, he still is very high level. You compare that to Bambo's level 5.
Yeah, we saw Mag make those great rotations, and that's really helped keep him at the top of this game.
Relocate.
Okay, here we go for a bit of action on Bambo, and then they're going to find it. Got him pretty down fairly low with the harassment from the silencer, and just sending those in to pick up the kill. That's going to be a bit of a plus intel here for Showman. He's actually sitting on +6 at the moment, so not too bad 11 minutes in for this support silencer.
Yeah, the support silencer for me is really just a tool to stop the full combo from Force Seal coming out. And it is a pretty easy lineup to global against too, because as soon as you see one spell cast, like 1 RP or the Tiny blinks in or something like that, you global on it, and then you try to re-engage with your call down and your Ember Spirit, right? Because it's very hard to run away from that. So they have a method of starting the fight themselves and a relocate and a global, and they can also use it defensively.
Okay, and well, Pycat is going to be going for something a little bit different here. It isn't going to be your blink, it's going to be your Shadow Blade. Bambo hold that fort as he could be in trouble, and Nikra is there, but there's your global silence, and that's what we're talking about, enabling them to turn it. And now Nikra's the one in trouble. They have sent Pycat in, the RP will come out onto 2, and maybe they could turn this 4 Clovers. There'll be the Winter's Curse onto Pasha. Pycat will be able to keep himself alive. He's even against the Fiend's Grip, but the Rocket Barrage is there. They found themselves a second. Can they find themselves anything more here? Moving in onto the Winter Wyvern at the same time towards the top. Mag gets the punch down as he gets himself a double kill. The Wyvern only just getting him away. Oh, the Spirit's going to touch. Oh, he can't quite get himself close enough solo. And I've got to be honest, that was the global silence doing exactly what Vega drafted it to do.
Yeah, that was the ideal scenario. So they get the steering chains. They know they're going to get a kill for sure, as long as no counter initiation comes out. So they just throw out the global on top of it. And the damage just wasn't there. They couldn't get their spells out in time. And Shaker not being able to use his ulti during the engagement also didn't help. By the way, Pycat's actually going for Shadow Blade.
Yes.
Which I think is extremely interesting given their team composition. I think having multiple blinks is like so good against Vegas heroes, because now that Global's down, you have Blink Dagger up. He would have the money for it if he didn't buy the Shadow Amulet. You can just blink and go for the combo, but maybe he doesn't like to play it the same way that Bambo does, because Bambo plays more of like a space-creating mobile Tiny. This could be more of the position 1 carry-oriented Tiny.
It's going to be interesting to see how well it works against the side of Vega. We've seen in previous games, these guys are very good at warding and keeping control of the map, so they'll probably have the sentries ready and waiting when it gets revealed. I'm just going to see this side of 4 Clovers moving in. Oh, and he has got that remnant, but I believe that is his only one that he just put there on the high ground. Not going to move in on him though.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
And they're going to be able to disengage for this at this moment. But 11 for 5 at the moment. Vega still looking in the good position. There we go. That's your item finished on Tiny, but Vega looking to fight. Smoke to... Oh, there's a smoke from 4 Clovers as well. Smoke on smoke action here potentially. 4 Clovers hanging around the tier 1 in the mid lane. Vega seeing if they can find a wraparound, and there we go. That's the big spell we're waiting for. 3 seconds to the global silence. And that's when it's going to be go time. They know that they can take a fight. It's going to be pretty much impossible for 4 Clovers to turn. Nikwa's revealed himself in the mid lane. They missed the shearing chains. They won't miss the shards, and they won't miss the snowball. Or maybe they will. Nikwa actually getting himself away, and he's going to be able to live. There's a remnant across this. They found Pycat. No one's trying to chase him down, but Pycat hiding in the tree line, and now with the Shadow Blade. May look to try and move back in on this one. They do still have the global silence here. Vega, Pycat trying to set it up. Can he find himself the opening? Well, with the Fisher and the blowing up of the IO, they do. That's the IO down. Global silence has now been used, but 4 Clovers, they may be able to fight off the back of this. Niku trying to get position, gets the RP out to Passion now with the feast grip to no one as well. Can they bring the down with the Winter's Curse? The control is there. They found themselves the Gyro. Can they get themselves anything else here? No one's still alive. The Fisher comes out. No one gets bursted. Echo slam to the face. A third down on the side of Vega, and now it's just the Silencer and the Tusk getting themselves out. They'll look for the Silencer. The Nightmare setting it up onto Mag as well. The Nightmare will actually be toggled off, and Mag's turning this. Gets the punch off the Wyvern. Avalanche for the low ground won't reach. Another snowball, bringing him up, bringing him back straight into the face of EGM. The brace up's there, the right click, EGM's still alive. Solo's come back into the fight on the IO, trying to get Pycat, but Pycat walks this one off. EGM again with the Nightmare, keeping them away from him. And EGM trying to walk this one off, Solo desperately chasing. But EGM might get away with this. I mean, it was a bit of a mess of a fight. 4 Clovers did lose a lot. EGM looked okay. Nah, it's not going to work.
That was like the most impressive display of individual skill on both teams.
That was
like that team fight was.
It was a mess,
insane.
but it was a beautiful mess.
So the global on Sioma came out like very quickly. We'll get to see the whole thing again, so we can just go through it step by step. So it starts off. The Wisp immediately dies, but if you watch how fast that global comes out, like they didn't even have detection. That was crazy. So he gets a Nightmare here onto Tusk to stop him from canceling the grip, and you see if EGM, like one target gets RP'd, the other gets gripped, and then as soon as they walk into each other, he throws out a curse to make sure the Gyro actually dies on top of the Tiny combo. And they keep chasing out here. They drop a solo Echo to make sure that they can actually kill the Ember at the end of this fight. And like mid-air, this Tusk goes in for a snowball save after Sioma toggles the Nightmare onto himself to stop them from dealing damage, while he simultaneously gets a block with an Ice Shards and stops an Avalanche from coming through. And we just saw the snowball there actually disjoint the auto attack that would have killed anyway. Like this whole fight, that was the only mistake I saw was he misses Ice Shards there. He would have killed Pycat otherwise.
Well, there's another fight going on as Bambo gets taken down. Of course, shout out to the Score Esports lads over there for bringing us that replay.
That was insane.
That was a pretty insane replay. 16 for 9. It's going to calm down a little bit, but 17 minutes in. Of course, this being the deciding match to get you through to day 2. The loser of this match will have to play another best of 3 today. So a lot on the line for both of these teams is a ticket to day 2. Going up against, I believe it's either OG or Alliance. It's going to be the dream for these guys.
I gotta say, man, like for CL, coming into this matchup, you gotta be thinking of it like you know you're the underdog, right? Like there's no real surprise there. But the way they're playing this out, just going for blow in a game 3 with Vega, it's very impressive to me. Like I knew that CL were a pretty good team, and on a good day they could take a game off of anyone, but Vega are certainly no pushovers. Core CL are definitely making a game of this. So pushing in mid, Vega still have everything up. Global is now ready to go.
Okay, smoke up from 4 Clovers. They want to try and fight. They want to try and find Pasha. The toss forward, straight on with the Echo Sound coming out, but there's the global silence. They're ready to turn here, the side of Vega, and they're looking to try and take down Bambo, and they will. That's going to be the Earthshaker down. Let's see if they can find anything more here. No one. Positioned on the high ground. Pycat sitting there with the Shadow Blade. Just slide down. Looks like Vega will just disengage, so they do use the global, but it does manage to get them the kill on the Shaker.
I mean, that's a tier 1
Keeps the Gyro alive as well.
Yeah, that was a very good global.
Yeah.
Like I said, man, his reaction time is insane. That was like less than a second, and he just had the global. I mean, they probably saw the Tiny flying in the air, so maybe it wasn't like a total reactionary play like the last one we saw mid. But either way, the Silencer is working out pretty well so far for Vega. Good stuff. The one nice thing that CoreSteel have going for them is it's not really easy for Vega to take Roshan. Their team is pretty meh in terms of kill speed on Roshan until a bit later, and their Gyrocopter doesn't have Dominator yet either, so they have no real way of sustaining through. I don't believe anyone has an urn yet, right? Okay, the Tusk does. Alright, so they do have an urn on somebody.
And I guess not only the fact that their team isn't very good at taking Roshan, Paul Clover's team is very good at fighting someone that's taking Roshan.
Yes, that is also very true. The one big difference, though, that we see this game for 4CL's lineup as opposed to earlier when we saw them playing when they had Shaker is the blink timing on Bambo is so much slower. Like, he would have had his blink, what, 4 minutes ago, 5 minutes ago? We were talking about that previous series, but he's still 900 away.
Oh, no one! Oh, that is a big kill as well.
That was a Shadow Blade. And a double damage.
Oh, wow, look, they've got the Nightmare and Solo here. Can they follow through with this as well? There is a Tusk there. There's double damage on this Pycat. And that's another one gone.
That was one hit.
He's got the DD. He's got the DD.
I think they brain stepped him too, actually. Yeah.
Okay, and now Vega, they've got to be careful. Mag wants to walk himself away. They've still got a Fiend's Grip. If anyone from the side of Vega comes close, and Four Clovers will use this to just put a bit of pressure onto the tier 2 on the bottom lane, and might just get it. The fortification has come out.
I think they will get it.
Yeah, Pycat's going to stick around for this one, and this is a Pycat who is now just about 750 gold away from a completed Aghanims, 20 minutes in on top of a Shadow Blade.
Yeah, I like the Shadow Blade pickup after thinking about it more. I was kind of looking at the lineup of Vega and saying, okay, well, they can 5-man, but there is also an equal chance that this could turn into a split-pushing game. And in that sense, having the Shadow Blade makes it really scary for heroes like Wisp and Silencer to really be alone, because it means you just die. Like, if you get caught out, boom, you're dead. Also makes them have to buy more detection, whereas just having a blink, you can get scouted out walking under wards, so you might not always be able to find those pickoffs, but the Shadow Blade not only increases your farming speed, as opposed to blink, where you might have more mobility and getting around in the jungle, but you don't deal as much physical damage.
Oh, Pycat, have some mercy here. He's looking for no one.
Get him.
Is he going to go for it? Yes, he is. The 1-2. It's enough. And again, another massive pick-off there for Four Clovers, taking down the Ember Spirit with what looks to be incredible ease. Sax is in a bit of trouble, though. Max coming in with the punch. And, yeah, Sax, is he going to... No.
Yeah, he's fine.
Yeah, he's fine. Okay.
Okay, maybe not. The curse?
Oh.
Okay.
Saxa.
That Glimmer
Okay.
Cape saved his life for sure.
Definitely.
But the thing that's really scary right now, if you're Vega, is thinking about going late game against Mag with a Tiny. Like, if you have Aghanims, and then you have Empower on top of said Aghanims, because Tiny is all base damage, right? So you're getting a huge increase. It's plus 90 for him.
Oh my goodness.
Well, actually, that's the Shadow Blade damage too, so I guess technically it's what, plus 68? Yeah, that sounds right. So 68 damage that he gets from Empower.
Now look at this. This is going to be, and you know, factor into that the Aghanims, that cleave on top of it.
But that's only level 2 in power, and he's getting 68 damage.
It's going to get a lot more painful for the side of Vega. But Vega still, they've got relatively good farm here on the gyro. It's bang on really with the Tiny. It's a very close deciding game, and I don't know, after just seeing this Tiny delete heroes and deleting the Ember Spirit just like that, it feels like Four Clovers, they're in the more comfortable position with their heroes.
Yeah, but I think they still need to apply a little bit more pressure. Like, going ultra late game against a hero like Ember Spirit can always be pretty daunting, just because of the way that he works, right? You never really have to commit to a fight. You spam your Sleight of Fist. You got Snowball Save, you got Relocate and Global to back you up, so it's really hard to catch him, unless you do what Pycat's doing, which is just find him with a Shadow Blade and kill him when he's fighting outside of base. But I think, like, 4CL might want to try to apply a tiny bit more pressure. Like, they can get the tier 1s, I think, without too much risk, or at least poke at them. But they're playing it very safe right now.
And they are at the moment. Turning it down a bit. I mean, we just saw Bambo. He just picked up the blink. And, I mean, I guess at this point, Pycat was level 15. And the Battle Fury now done on Ember Spirit. So going to be a little bit more ready for these fights. 4-Staff and Blink on Magnus. Nico's got 2k gold on top of that as well. I mean, I guess at this point, is this where you just have to get the BKB on the Magnus just to ensure that you can fight around that global silence and still
it's either BKB or Lotus, and I think BKB is the better choice for this game. Like, Lotus is that item that you buy when you really only need to worry about one thing, but the fact of the matter is, a Snowball, a Searing Chain, you know, even eating call-down damage can be pretty detrimental, so I do think that BKB is the best choice right now.
Bottom lane Vega looking poised to fight. You've got a bit of pressure being applied by Pasture, some of them hiding in the trees, maybe looking for the bait. Is it going to work out though? They will find the tower, they're not going to be able to find any kills with it though. At the same time, Four Clovers, they're looking to try and take something top. Pycat Waltzing in, clearing out the wave. 1800 gold now for himself on top of the Aghanims. I mean, is this a Tiny that needs a BKB himself, or do we just go for more DPS, more physical, more armor, get the AC online?
I think the AC is a great choice here. Oh, TP reaction here. Some Power Rangers going on from Vega, defending their tier 1. It's not in deny range just yet. Maybe they TP'd a little bit too fast. But I do think AC is a solid option. He could just as easily go BKB too. There's nothing wrong with it. Their team does so much damage. Like,
last year they were ready, yeah.
He can actually go BKB and still deal a tremendous amount of DPS in team fights just because of Empower. So it depends. If 4CL want to contest Roshan and they want to try to actually apply a lot of map control, then I think that going BKB is the right call. Because it means that even if you get globaled and you get caught out, BKB TP, unless they have the Walrus Punch on you, you can get out of any bad situation. And you can also just freely cleave people in team fights if you have that BKB, because there's only one disabled that goes through it.
Vega now smoked up. Now making motions towards the Roche pit. We'll see if they're able to try and go for that one, and we'll see if Four Clovers can react in time. They're not really anywhere close to. But I mean, the speed that Vega take this isn't going to be too great, so there will be a chance for them to come over. If they start to make the move now, and they might just do that. They've got a smoke, and Four Clovers may be aware that something's going on. Roshan, it's down to about 2/3 of his health. Can Four Clovers get her in time, Andy?
I think that if they know, they definitely can. I mean, this is what we're talking about. They kill it so slow.
Yeah.
Like, their team is not very good at killing Roshan.
Oh, this is going to be absolutely huge. They're coming around the corner. Mag's there. He's ready to try and turn. Maniqua goes in, gets the RP onto 2. There'll be a snowball straight away to Maniqua. The global silencers come out, so there's no follow-up on Four Clovers. And they'll lose the Magnus. Great reaction on the BKB and great reaction on the global, but Pycat's coming in. Oh! Echo slam onto 2, and the damage from this Tiny is just too much here. Pycat cleaving through. The Winter's Curse. Mac's gonna fall down as well, but still there's a snowball buying him sometime. He's got the Glimmer Cape, but the Silencer's stuck in the pit. They have lost 2 Four Clovers, but they'll take down 4, and they'll take the Roshan as well. So even though it looked like Vega were ready to deal with the initiation there after the RP and the Global Silence came out, Four Clovers, they were just ready to fight back into it. They've got so much control in these team fights.
God,
and that
so
Echo
big.
Slam from Bambo.
That was actually such a good fight for 4CL. It's like I was saying though, it's not just about the RP that's scary, it's everyone on the side of 4CL brings their own potent team fight to the table. So using Global and only getting a kill on one hero I don't think was quite enough, and showcased by the fact that 4CL handedly take that after getting a nice 2-man Avatos and Echo Slam coming in from Bambo. That was just super unfortunate, and no one actually went for an auto attack on Pycat and got craggied. So he couldn't go to his Remnant, and then he got cursed on top of that.
Yeah,
so it was like, yeah, it was a little bit of bad luck, and in conjunction with only being able to kill the Mag at the beginning of the fight. So all things considered, 4CL looking to be in fantastic shape, and looks like the choice of item from Pycat is going to be Butterfly.
And I do like this as well, because you look over at the Jar and you look over at the Ember Spirit.
No,
neither of them are going to be getting an MKB anytime soon.
Yeah, it's a really solid choice. I think it's good for the Ultra carry, and you can even go back for AC if you want both. It's not bad. It's usually AC is the choice because either the heroes on the other team are going to have MKB, or you want to be able to push. And I think that AC is the better pushing item, but if you want to go for a late game scenario, Butterfly is very good.
Vega are going to want to be a lot more careful with these fights that they take. I mean, we already knew it was going to be a risk when they went for Roshan. It certainly didn't end up paying off. That's swing it. Four Clovers going into this series, as you said yourself. They would have known that they were the underdogs, but they are playing Dota at the same level as Vega, and potentially even higher here at the moment. As after that fight, they're certainly the ones with the lead in this game.
Yeah, they have actually just completely stepped up their game. You know, some teams, it's said that they actually play better on LAN than they do normally, like when you're just playing a normal online tournament, but I think 4CL could be one of those teams. And they have, like, every single person on their team, barring Saksa, has played a tremendous amount of Dota on LAN, you know what I mean? It's a very, very experienced roster, so not surprised to see them step up their game against a great opponent like Vega here in this third game. But Vega aren't out of it just yet.
Oh, no, absolutely not. I mean, you said already, you know, with their composition, they've got every opportunity to take these fights and turn them around.
Yeah. The biggest issue that they're running into right now is they actually just don't have the damage output yet. Because Silencer and Wisp, these are not damage dealing supports. They have very specific functions in the lineup. Silencer is meant to stop initiation or help their own initiation secure a kill. And the Wisp is pretty much a relocate out and a mech at this point. Like that's his only purpose. Spirit damage is not really as threatening as it used to be. The Ember and the Gyro are supposed to be carrying the damage output right now, I guess, in conjunction with the Tusk, but against Tiny, who has 2,300 health and a Butterfly, oh dear god. Okay, he's mega dead. But the Ember is not quite to the point where his Sleight of Fist is going to stop Forceal from pushing. And having to go back for Blink instead of going for another damage item on top of that means that Pasha has to go all damage. Like he's going for what I can only assume is an MKB right now, as he has Demon Edge in his inventory, but double damage on the Tiny. This tower is just going to melt. Yeah. He doesn't even use his
He's going to save it probably for the high ground push at this point. He's still got that Aegis. They're going to feel confident pushing for more here, 4 Clovers. Let's see if Vega can stop it. Pikehead just being topped up here by the Cold Embrace. Power coming in out again from Nikwa. And here we go. This is going to be the push. DD's out. Look at the lord. Fortification has come out straight away.
That was 3 hits.
And Pycat is going to play it safe here. The sticks back, clears out the wave, and okay, Ember coming over the slide. Remnant's back out. I don't know if you wanted to TP there. Okay, Snowball saved. They got a Snowball. Global Silence has come out as well. They should be BKB from Passion, but still, the right clicks from Pycat and too much. He's got the Aegis. Winter's Curse now onto no one. Niko's there with the Skewer. He's also got an RP, but he's a little bit too late. The Remnant came out in time. Ember gets himself out of there. But that is Pasha down for 50 seconds, and he does not have buyback. I don't know if that TP was the play, Andy.
It must have been a misclick. I don't think he meant to TP that far forward. Like maybe he meant to TP on the high ground.
Oh,
it's fine. This could be Rax, so there's no glitch. I don't know, man. That was a super questionable TP.
Let's say the range Rax. They'll probably want to stick around for more. I mean, still 30 seconds without this Gyro, but it looks like they're playing it safe.
Yeah, I think playing it safe is fine. Or they could just wait for the creep wave too.
Yeah, just get the creep wave and go in for more.
That works out. Okay, so BKB now purchased on Mag.
Getting this Rax could be...
If they get this Rax and Pycat buys BKB, I think they have an insanely hard time stopping him. And he's almost got it. So...
No, he's not. He's being a bit careful now. Now Vega maybe looking to turn. Dust has come out and have the Snowball falling onto Pycat, but there's the defensive nightmare there. Niko's screwing himself across. Now no one coming in. The slap from Bambo, catching out Pasha and Shima on the back lines of this. Pycat thinking about trying to go back in, but the sentry's being dropped. There's a Fiend's Grip onto no one. The cooldown's coming in from Pasha. He's trying to turn. He's found one. He's going to look for 2 as he moves on to Saxon with the Rocket Barrage, and he will get it. They'll take down 2 from the side of 4 Clovers. That is going to be the gem going back the way of Vega. So the defense, they lose the range Rax. They don't lose the melee. And they do take 2 kills off the back of it, and a gem.
Maybe a bit too hesitant there from Forceal. Like, I think they could have easily taken the Rax, and even trading Pycat's life for it, I think, is worth it at this point. Just because that's guaranteed damage, you know? Throughout the entire game, that wave's going to be pushing in. They only have 2 heroes that can really deal with it, the Ember and the Gyro. Like, even the Tusk is going to have a hard time stopping that split push. The Silencer and the IO can't really do it at all. But they end up paying for it. They lose their supports. They lose the gem, getting Vega a little bit of momentum at least for the time being. This game so far, like Forceal, once this Tiny gets BKB, he's just gonna walk up to buildings. Like, what are you gonna do?
He's got it. He is ready. He's absolutely ready for this one. Pasha, still a bit of money to go before he has got that MKB, so he can at least try and do something against Pycat when he comes in with a push in his BKB. But this Tiny, I mean, we knew that Bambo could play it, and now we're seeing that Pycat, he can very much step up to the mark and have an absolute game so far on the hero.
God, Empower is just insane on this hero.
And Pasha, if they catch Pasha out here at this point, they did just see him on that ward.
Yeah.
They're trying to close around here, trying to scrap in. Look for the Avalanche, but Maggie's there, actually throws down the shards. I think he's going to want to get himself out of this one, though, and indeed doesn't want to try and initiate. Hasn't got the backup of his team. There'll be a smoke now picked up by Bambo on this Shaker. And we may very well see 4 Clovers trying to go for more. They're just trying to push in this top lane at the moment. Trying to take this final tier 2 away from the side of Vega to expose their base just that little bit more. But I mean, what's the game plan here for Vega? I feel that they really need at least another item on no one on this Ember Spirit who's just sitting on the Battle Fury Blink. And they do need to finish off this MKB on the Jar.
Yeah, you gotta hold high ground. I mean, that's really what you go for now. You got Ember, you got Gyro, fight and choke points, try to land a good call down, throw out some Sleight of Fist, try to whittle Forceal down before they can just go up to your base with a Tiny who has Empower and just start beating away at your tier 3s. The scary part about it is that Vega still don't have Glyph for another minute. So if Pycat wants to pop a 10-second BKB just to deal tower damage, at this point I think that's perfectly okay, as long as you disengage when the BKB is down. Because you don't want to get into a situation where you don't have BKB, and then the enemy team is able to initiate on you with a global silence. It gets very, very risky at that point. But I guess even having BKB up on the Magnus now, you can just break the silence, go back in. Because if they go on some hero, they will have to global. Like, they can't wait. Because if the counter initiation comes out from Nikwa and they're not ready, then the fight's just over. Like, a good RP wins them the game at this point.
They want to play it safe as well. They're picking out Roshan. Roshan is actually going to be one of the shorter respawn timers, coming up in just under a minute. So if 4 Clovers do hang around and are able to take this, it's certainly going to make the defense that little bit harder for Vega if Pycat's got 2 lives in him again.
Yeah, Roshan's been pretty much the story of the game for me. There's that one Roshan fight where Vega kind of got it really low. 4CL come in, they get that RP that baits a global, and they still take the fight 4v5. Like, that was pretty much the point in the game.
Oh, Pasha versus Pycat. Pycat with the damage, the right clicks.
God.
Pycat, he's going to be able to get himself away there. The mech coming out from the IO, just topping him up. That was incredibly close there, Pycat. Nearly being able to find that.
He missed his avalanche, right? Like, he BKB'd before the
BKB was in time, yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes that happens. When you're chasing a hero who's really fast, you want to try to go for the auto attack out of Shadow Blade to maximize your damage. And then he threw the avalanche, but the thing is, he got so much distance between that auto that he was able to BKB in time, so. A little bit unfortunate, but Pycat's going to be fine with it as he's now picked up a crit.
No one just pushing down this lane. Got Saxa waiting on the sideline, but straight away with the Remnant. Getting himself out, and Roshan is back now.
They kill it in like
I was
10
going to say, they can take this so
something.
quick with the empowers. But do they want to go for it? I mean,
I think if Vega don't fight this, they have to sack a set of racks. Like, the global doesn't really do much at this point, and the Wisp isn't really being utilized because they can't relocate gank a team who's sitting together as 5. You know? And when you have map control, the IO can't really do much for you anymore. Like, you need to have another hero who can push the lane or hit towers and deal a lot of damage. That's why you so often see like CK or Sven or Tiny partnered with Wisp, because those heroes actually kill buildings. You know, an Ember Spirit and a Gyro, they don't really kill buildings that fast. So you can't go for the backdoor play, you just have to go for fights.
Well, seeing Passion out of the MKB. So he's got a little bit more potential in these fights, see if they can find how to begin them, and well, Pycat
Scouted.
has to be careful here. Vega is smoked up. They'd love to try and find a jump in from the high ground position. 4 Clovers playing it safe, getting the D ward. Not yet going back into the pit here. I think after realizing that Vega is so close, they'd love to try and maybe take the fight themselves and find a pick-off before going in for the Aegis. You know, they know that they have got this power here on this Tiny. And if they can find a jump, they should be able to find a quick pick-off. BKBs are out as well, of course, on the notable heroes like the Magnus. So they can continue to fight, and yeah, Vega just playing this very careful.
This is really nice play though from 4CL as well. They drop a sentry on the high ground to get the very common D ward spots to make sure that they have the high ground advantage.
And here we go, Saxa. Okay, moving in with the Arctic Burn. Gets the slow off onto Mag. Trying to chase it with the Blinking as well, but Pasha is there. There'll be a snowball onto Saxa. The cooldown as well, but the Winter's Curse onto Mag, and he actually gets relocated out. They'll take Mag out of this one. Nico put the BKB, the RP, controlling Pasha down the right click from Pycat. It's a double kill. This man is an absolute monster, and he's looking for more. There'll be the relocate back down to the low ground there from the IO. Tails across to the range creep, but this man is certainly a dead man. Another kill for the side of 4 Clovers.
I think they just go mid, right? Yeah.
Yeah, screw the Aegis.
They're gonna force buybacks.
They'll take the Rex instead. I mean,
oh, they have Glyph and they have buybacks too, so.
Again, another fight where Vega just did not have an answer. And the global silence earlier might have been enough, but now it just isn't. There'll be a buyback on your Ember Spirit. Fortification as well. And they're going to stick around here, Pycat. Now he's going to commit. Oh, Draggy! Oh, the Nightman out to Mac. Mac gets tossed up, and Easy Trouble has got the snowball. Pycat with the Shadow Blade, but Pycat might just turn. There's a Fisher. Bambo comes in, looking for the slap, but there's a Glimmer Cape keeping Mag alive. He's going to be able to turn around, gets the punch up with the Slam. Comes up from Bambo, not quite enough to kill Mag. Mag will walk this one off, and Bambo pays with his life. Jeez. But they do get the racks. Daedalus now picked up here by the Tiny. Another May seem small, but it's still going to be a very impactful pickup from the Wyvern as he has the Vladimirs as well.
Yeah, it's huge for Tiny.
Pycat, he's just going to be doing so much damage, and we've seen it already. He just cleaves through the lineup of Vega.
The hilarious thing about it was during that engagement, the Ember blinks forward to try to help the Gyro, right? Because he realizes, okay, Pasha's going to die if I don't go in. He goes in, the Empower's on Tiny. With Empower and Aghanim, he cleaves 100% of his damage. So if he's hitting somebody near you, you are also being hit for the full brunt of it.
Literally.
And he got 2 shots.
Yeah.
Literally 2 shots.
Oh, okay. Vega, they're going for Roshan, and this is what they need to do. If they can get this, I mean, that's a big if.
There's no shaker, so...
And they've just got RP's just come back online. They've got to get themselves in 4 clovers. Yeah. Oh, Nikwa going in with the BKB, the RP onto 2. He's found Pasha and Shoma, but they did get off the BKB on this Gyro. The rest are moving in, here comes Pycat, looking for the relocates out there. We'll take some of them out, but now Fisher onto 2 from the sidelines. Bambo trying to deal with the silencer. Roshan's going to go down, and they will be able to get the Aegis here on the Gyrocopter. Pycat with the right clicks takes down Pasha. Look at this damage from this man. Pycat may be in trouble though, because the global silence is out. He does not have BKB, but he doesn't care. He just continues to slap away, continues to fight. Look at this damage, 1-2, but he will get taken down. Pycat now down for 90 seconds, and this could be the turnaround that Vega needed. They move on to EGM. They'll get themselves a double kill here on the Gyrocopter. The gem goes back into their hands. And Vega finding, I mean, the fact that they take down this Tiny for 90 seconds, they got away with the Roche attempt. It was the risk that they needed to go for, and it was a risk that this time, it does pay off.
That was such a necessary fight for Vega. Like, if they don't take that in a big way, this game gets really, really difficult, and I'm pretty sure Bambo is regretting the fact that he dropped Echo in that fight inside of the base to try to kill the Tusk. Because if he had it there, maybe the fight would have been a little bit different, and of course he did end up trading his own life, which meant that Vega knew that they could go on the Roshan pit in the first place. So there's really small things allowing them to get themselves ahead, and finally they take down the Tiny. Like, it seemed like Pycat was nigh unkillable for a long time, but Pasha having the MKB finally allows them to have the actual kill potential on the hero, whereas before they just simply did not have the DPS. But the Ember living through that fight means that he went from having like just a Battle Fury and a Blink to almost a full Daedalus. So things are getting a little bit more scary for 4CL as this game kind of rolls on.
Now we're seeing on the graph now, it's started to turn, heading back down towards Vega. It's still very much in 4 Clovers region in terms of the gold. It's going to be a Shadow Blade now picked up on the Magnus as well, so another way that Nico can look to try and get himself in position for those RPs. I mean, which at this point it's all about. If you do get a good RP to start the fight off and you're able to get Pycat following through the damage, that's...
Yeah, if you get a good RP, those heroes are dead. 100% cleave on a Tiny, you get 1 crit. He crit the Gyro for 1600 damage. That one-shots anybody on the side of Vega, except for the Gyro. And who still almost dies.
647 right-clicker on Pycat.
Yeah. I mean, that's not even with the Vladzor.
Nope.
So the thing about this lineup is it's very built around just buffing up the Tiny as much as you can. Like having Vlads and Empower, that base damage increase alone, like the Vlads on the Winter Wyvern, it's like an extra 15%.
Yeah, look at that now with that aura as well. 696.
65. Yeah, he pretty much hits for 700 damage.
Pretty much. We'll round it up. 700 right click.
I think he goes back maybe for AC and sells a Shadow Blade now. I think that's... Like, the Shadow Blade is still useful in the sense that it helps you control the pace of the game if Vega are feeling confident in leaving their base. But AC is so nice when the MKB is out on Gyro because it just mitigates a lot more of the right-click damage.
They've got a Halberd out on this Tusk. Maybe something they could try and use to deal with this Tiny. He has, of course, got the BKB. It's still on a 7-second duration as well. But maybe, just maybe, if they just find that opening after the BKB's worn off to shut him down. I mean, it is going to be big if they can get that Halberd out.
The BKB duration is getting lower, so that's always something to keep in mind if you're Pycat. Once your BKB gets to 5 seconds, you need to make sure you've done a ton of damage in that window.
Okay, and here we go in the mid lane, kicking off, moving forward. The BKB coming out from Pasture, ready to try and go onto Nikwa. Nikwa throws himself away. He is still alive, but a punch from Mag will take him down. That's 1 down. Pycat, oh my bloody god, that damage. That's going to be a silencer gone, and now he's over Pasture. The cleave damage is flying up onto Mag. They're trying to move in, but Pycat, the damage is too much. The Winter's Curse comes out. It's the 3rd one down on the side of Vega. Mayday indeed for the Gyrocopter. The solo IO trying to get away, but he's not going to. It's another kill for 4 Clovers. This damage is just too much for them to deal with. And Pycat is entirely out of control.
Under attack.
That poor Ember Spirit.
Look at the damage dealt. I mean,
And Silva too, he got one shot. He actually just got hit one time and died. That is, yeah, well, this is what happens, I guess,
my
when you
goodness.
have a near 6-slotted Tiny who has a power.
I mean, this is going to be at least a
Alright,
GG
GG.
well played. The Tiny was too
CNL.
much. For CNL, taking the series, moving themselves forward to day 2. Vega, of course, will be back with a second chance today. But 4 Clovers did it, and they take down Vega 2-1, which that's going to have impressed a lot of people out there, Andy.
Yeah, I gotta say, I came into the series thinking that Vega were the heavy favorite. Like, it wasn't even a small underdog thing. It was more like, I think Vega should win, you know? But, I mean, 4CL showing once again that